Lounge, starring me, your girl Chad Sherelle. And today we have another phenomenal woman in the building. You know how we do, we all about Black Girl Magic and also women empowerment. We bring ladies on the show to showcase whatever they have, how they securing the bag, any talents they have. And today our special guest is Drinka. And I'm gonna let her introduce herself because she got a long list. She got a long list of things, amazing things that she does. So get into it.
Well, what's up, everybody? It's the poet, the artist, the creator, and energy curator, Drinka, right? So we're live in 501, and you know what's up. So, as I've said before, I am a poet. I use poetry in life. Basically, I have a company called 7 of Arts where I offer creative-based professional and personal development. So, basically, what that means is I like to do trainings, but I use the art of poetry to facilitate different kind of workshops around team building, communication, and I also work with youth using poetry as a way to facilitate self-expression and address social emotional learning. I'm an author. I have a women's empowerment group where I bring women together to just network and find their tribe, because I believe we need each other. Women are the most powerful things on earth, and when we come together, it's explosive.
We're gonna talk about that later, because I want to know why it's so hard for certain women to come together, because I've seen what you do, and I've been, looking at you, doing my homework, looking at the page, and, seeing the Melanin in May, and I'm like, she doing everything, and I see her getting these women together, and it looks beautiful, but like certain women, it's like hard to work with, like they clash, and it's like, I don't know. We're gonna talk about that later though. First, I want to talk about the book, The Art of Securing the Bag. How did you come up with, wanting to write a book about it?
Okay, so actually when I was in college at UCA, I started an organization called Bear Arts. And my whole purpose behind it was to bring artists together to show them that you actually could make a living doing what you love, and that I wanted to create a consistent platform for people to showcase their talent. So I would put on different shows. And in my journey of being an artist too, I just learned, there is actually so many ways to get money doing what you love. Like if you're a poet, you have to know how to really think outside the box to be able to stream revenue. So in my book, The Art of Securing the Bag, I list out 27 ways that you can monetize your talent. And I did that because I want to give hope to the starving artists, the people who get told that their art is just a hobby and that they can't make it a career.
Right.
So
it's definitely needed. Oh my God, it's so hard not to. It's so hard trying to balance that work life and trying to, like I was explaining to you earlier, I'm trying to act. It is hard trying to act and then balance the work life. Like I literally I was like, man, I'm going to put my notes in, because child, this can't be
hey, you have to.
This can't be done, because you pulled from every direction with acting. It's so competitive, and it's so you got to be consistent with it. And so I love the fact that you have a book, giving us ways to try to, balance that out, because it's very important, child. You will go broke out here.
You definitely
will
and can, but you don't have to.
You don't have to. You don't have to. So can we see?
Yes. Boom.
Yes.
So this is crazy. This is actually the first book I ever wrote, but I wrote it back in, I forgot, I was 24 when I actually wrote it, and for whatever reason I didn't feel like it was ready to go out, and I'm actually glad that I waited, because over those years I learned so much more on how to, again, stream revenue doing what you love.
Right. I love it. Is this another one?
This is another one.
Child, see what I said? I couldn't even say everything, remember everything about myself if I wanted to.
Girl, I can't remember.
I had to write notes. Okay, what's this one?
So this one is called 17 Mirrors, and this book is a book of poetry that I wrote in 2018. And I always say it's a story of reflection about a young woman in her 20-somethings learning about life, navigating toxic relationships with other people and self, because a lot of times we go through life pointing a finger at everybody else for why we are not happy. The whole time we are the problem.
I'm glad you explaining that, because a lot of times we do put the blame on other people, or we put our anger on other people. And I guess that's kind of why people be like, black women just so angry. And like, boy, I guess that's why we got that stereotype, Chad, because we project it on other people instead of trying to deal with it ourselves or do therapy and all of that kind of stuff. Some of us, because I do therapy, I don't got a problem with it.
I love therapy.
I was going to say, I'm about to get my therapy.
I hit up Joyce. Joyce, I need to talk.
Yes, that's how your relationship's supposed to be instead of, projecting your anger toward other people.
I agree.
So is this another one?
Oh.
Is this another one?
Now, this is just a poetry journal.
Okay. We're going to drop all your stuff at the bottom.
Okay. So this is a poetry journal, and it has 117 writing prompts because I believe poetry is the cheapest form of therapy. So
and it is, and I never thought about that in school. In English, when you having to write and stuff, you never thought about that until you get the writing and you get to putting the real stuff down. Your teacher's like, Chastity, we ain't need all this, baby. This probably a little bit too much, because you get to putting your feelings down, how you feel about this and that and family and different things. So poetry, I definitely feel that's a way to express how you feel, and it is a way of therapy. Just like I feel acting is a way of therapy.
It is.
Okay, so let's get into the website, the company.
Ooh,
7 Other Arts.
Which one?
I know you just told me about another one. Okay, 7 Other Arts.
No, that's funny. But 7 Other Arts, again, that is my educational consulting company. And actually last year in November, I was working as the Arts and Education Program Manager for the state of Arkansas.
Yes.
So basically I help artists and art organizations get money to implement arts into academics.
I love art.
But I wanted to get back to the direct service of it. Like, I'm a teaching artist, so I love being able to work with kids and use poetry to do that. So last year I was sitting at my desk and I was planning out my calendar for the next year because I actually liked my job. And the spirit said,
"That's good,
girl, you're not even gonna be here that long." And I was like, oh. So I started planning my exit, and I came up with 7 Other Arts because that's something that I've always done, offered workshops and trainings. So when I started the company, I literally left my job. I left on faith because everything told me that, girl, you shouldn't do this because how you gonna pay your bills, how you gonna do something? But I said, I'm in a season of crazy faith, so I'm just gonna believe in the unknown because I know my capabilities, and it's worked out ever since.
Exact same. When that voice tell you, or you keep drawing back to the same thing. See, when I was working, and I would draw back to going to work, and then go back to trying to act, and then I take a break from work, and then go back to acting. And when I would be at work at that 9 to 5, nothing wrong with 9 to 5, because baby, I might have to go back just to get some money to do the act stuff. But it's like when you up in there, you miserable. It's you like you said, when you said you loved your job, I was like, Shay, you lucky. Because I was up in there like, hello, we was answering. I was in the medical. I'm in the medical field, and so I was working front desk. So I'm answering phones, doing a million things, but I definitely agree with that. When your spirit tell you to do something, keep moving forward with it. So,
and I just want to add to that though, because actually in my book, The Artist Here Today, I talk about a 9 to 5 being a way to stream revenue, doing what you love.
Yeah.
The thing about life is you have to put yourself in places and take on jobs that are in alignment with what you love. So you can very well find a job that's in complete alignment with your gift. And if you are one of those people who just enjoy stability, you like knowing where your money coming from, you don't want to be the boss. No. That's okay. Go find you something that you love though. Yeah,
find something that you love to do to make that ends meet, because we all have families and life comes and hits us hard. So while you out there trying to be an entrepreneur, child, try to have some kind of money incoming on the side, even if you got a side hustle, which we go back to securing the bag, the art of securing the bag. A side hustle, nothing wrong with the side hustle. I know plenty of women have side hustles, child. You got 80 million of them. 80 million. What's the other company? You got another company we're gonna talk about in a little bit, but I want to talk about SEL. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I've seen a little touch of it. I told you I'm doing my homework lately. But SEL, can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah. So SEL is one of those buzzwords in education right now, and it stands for social emotional learning.
Yeah.
And it's basically where teachers and educators, they try to incorporate like life skills and like that emotional and mental things that children need,
Yes.
you know, to be able to be productive human beings. So it's them asking them, okay, we're doing math, but how does this relate to what you want to do in life?
In the real world, yeah.
Social emotional learning is
I love
basically trying
it.
to make like those real world connections for kids through
Yes.
an emotional and like mental lens.
I like that. It has a lot to do with, I think that would help with a lot of kids with, you know, mental health issues
Yes.
and thinking negative all the time, and
Exactly.
it definitely helps with that. Ooh, I love that. I love that.
Exactly.
I wish that would go around a lot of places. I'm actually glad that you are doing that. I wish a lot of more organizations would do that kind of stuff that helps kids with mental health, because a lot of kids hold stuff in and
They
don't talk
do.
about stuff. Like, for example, the young man that shot up the elementary school in Texas, like, I feel like he had mental issues and he was bottling stuff up, you know, and a lot of people are like, well, there's no excuse for what he just lashed out, and that's the way he lashed out, unfortunately, and I hate that. But it's like a lot of kids don't talk about a lot of stuff they go through.
They don't.
You know, a lot of kids come from single parent homes. They don't want to talk to their mama because they're a son, and or their daughter. They don't want to talk to their dad because they're being raised up by their dad, so they bottle stuff in and hold stuff in. So I love that you are trying to do something to help them, you know, talk about stuff and get that off with an amazing thing like poetry.
Yeah, adults, we often push kids off because we don't think they deal with a lot of process things the same way that we do. But what I've learned, elementary kids, they're talking about depression, they're talking about anxiety, feminism, pollution, politics, and I'm always amazed when they create their poetry and I get to hear what they're thinking about, because it makes me realize they are human too, and we got to give them a space to express themselves, and especially if you teach them how to do it at an early age. So what I do is I'll go into a school or an organization and I'll teach a 3-day long poetry workshop. So I address the academic standards that they already have to learn. So we cover things like figurative language and poetic devices. Well, those are the same thing, but we address those things. I teach them about descriptive writing, and then I tell them, hey, I want you to write about what you don't usually get to talk about. And we'll write, and then I'll have them share out, because I'm really big on, you know, teaching them how to use their voice, because our voice is one of the most powerful tools that we have. So they get to write, they get to talk about what they don't usually get to talk about. They get to perform, and then we have a poetry slam, you know, just to make it a little competitive.
And interesting.
But the feedback that I always get, and I'm always glad to hear it come from the child, is that, you know, I'm really glad. I taught a workshop at the Arkansas School for the Blind, and one of the students, he said, I'm glad I got to do this workshop because I got to express some emotions that I otherwise would have expressed negatively. And like, that's always my goal, to teach you how to express yourself in a different way.
I love that. And you, like you said, it could be elementary, like, child, I hear kids talk about stuff, and I just be sitting around like, oh my God, they see stuff, they consume stuff, they listen, they hear stuff. That's why people, you know, usually be like, you know, you gotta be careful what you say around kids. They hear everything, they remember everything. I think I was at my son track meet yesterday, and I heard a young lady when she was talking to, they had to be like 9 and 10. She was like, you don't like your mom? I was like, ooh, what is they talking about? They supposed to be getting ready for the track meet. But they talk about a lot of stuff that we don't even be knowing that they be talking about. And that was just crazy to me. I was just like, wow. That let me know right there, child, be careful what you be talking about around or doing in front of kids, because they definitely consume that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So let's get into this Melanin in May.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is my favorite. I miss North Little Rocks, and I'm mad because, girl, I was trying to get so many people to do that photo shoot. That is so crazy. When I went to your page and seen that, it is so amazing what you're doing, going from state to state, doing that. How did you get started doing that? Because, child, I wish I could have made it. You need to have another one.
Look,
me and you, ain't even got to be a group.
Well, I love taking pictures.
Yeah, me too. Look.
Since a child, my mama, she loves clothes. Oh my God, like she would dress us clean up until high school. I had to tell her, hey,
I saw that child.
I'm gonna pick out my own outfit. Like, even still to this day, she still buy me clothes, and I had on an outfit that she had bought me yesterday. But I really, when I was going through a tough time in my life, I used to dress up and take pictures. Like, it's something that made me feel really good. So it was like a coping mechanism. So I remember I was I don't know, I felt like I needed something to help me like be encouraged to like keep moving on. So I started a women's empowerment group called Hey Sis.
Yeah.
And something that I would do was organize these photo shoots because I wanted women to get an opportunity to take professional pictures, to get dolled up and be amongst other good energies.
Right.
And in 2015, I had one, it was called Shade Herd, and it was the purpose of celebrating beauty in all shades, forms, and sizes.
Yes.
And it started right there. I did an all-white photo shoot, and actually it was in the building across from here. And from that, I just kept doing different photo shoots. It would be different themes. Like we had one for Thanksgiving, it was called Sisgiving. One for Halloween. Valentine's Day, we did a boudoir shoot. Like, and I realized that women liked it. They loved coming together to do it.
Yes.
And what happened this year?
Pictures.
It's fun. It's so fun.
It is.
So this year it was, I don't know what happened differently, which I can speculate. I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
But this year I decided to do a photo shoot, and I wanted the theme to be melanin. So it was the month of May, so I called it Melanin in May.
Okay.
And from that, the response was so great. It was the biggest turnout that I ever had. So in Little Rock, we had 100+ women, and after that, women kept commenting and saying, "Hey, come to this day, come to this day."
I love it. And you was like, okay.
I think it's about to catch momentum, so I'm just gonna stay with the wave and keep going. So I went to Atlanta in May a couple of weeks ago.
Yes,
and
I saw that.
On the 26th, I'll be in Dallas.
I was like, ooh, why she ain't going? I had to come up there.
Well, Dallas,
It would have been something else I would have did while I was there. I just tried to do a lot of stuff while I'm there.
And that one I think is gonna be probably the biggest too, because I dropped it on TikTok and it got like 23,000 views, and over 400 women said they would come.
Oh,
so I'm like, imagine if this many women would want to come for the sole purpose of getting cute and like networking, because I curate these spaces for women to be able to build their tribe.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest purpose too. Like, you don't have to come and just be cute. You don't have to be photogenic.
Right.
You don't have to be the baddest one on Instagram. Like, just come, have fun, feel pretty about who you are.
Right.
And find your tribe. Whether that be you find a business bestie, a travel buddy, an accountability partner, a mom friend. Like, we have organized activities within the event too that allows you a way to network with other women without it being awkward. So I like to say I take the awkwardness out of networking.
I love it. I love it. Okay, we're going to wrap this up a little bit, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Melanin in May, because, child, I want to be on some pictures.
Look, we got you. What's up, everybody? It's the poet, the artist, the creator, and energy curator, Drinka, right? So we're live in 501, and you know what's up. Y'all, make sure you tune in and subscribe to 501 Witty.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the Ladies Lounge with my host, Drinka Wrights.
Hey.
And we were just talking about Melanin in May. We were talking about how the different women were asking you to come to different states. Is that some of the challenges you face, like doing it? Because Lord, I know traveling is kind of hard, especially with COVID and all that kind of stuff going on. But
so deciding to travel with Melanin in May, it was a big decision, because first of all, the Melanin in May was just supposed to be a theme, but it's developed its own identity, and I'm like, you know what, I want to stick with this. Excuse me, y'all. They had me here drinking beer. But I had looked it up on Google because I was like, Melanin May, I want to stick with this name, but I looked it up and somebody already got the name. They do
don't you hate that?
I do. Like, they had a festival. They had a festival in Indiana. So I'm like, man, I gotta try to rebrand it on the front end so that I can take it as far as I wanted to go without running into any legal issues.
Right.
So I came up with the Melanin Land. So the Melanin Land is the overall brand name, and we're going on a Melanin Land tour. So each city that we go to, it'll just be Melanin in Dallas, Melanin in Houston, Melanin in LA. So I'll just brand it in that way. But one of the challenges that I have faced is because I've decided to really make it its own identity, with me wanting to travel it, because I'm trying to make it move so fast so I can keep up with the momentum, the finances is the problem.
Child, I bet.
I got the
was like,
vision.
this sister from here to here. Because do you have like a team yet, or is it just you?
So I've been really lucky. Like everywhere I go, like women, they just literally want to help. Like people been offering their services. So I thank God for that. And I just cannot wait to be able to, you know, have sponsors and be endorsed by companies that really finance the whole idea of the Melanin tour. So
I love it.
It's just the money. So if anybody out there want to be a
donor, child, donate some money.
You can find me on all social media platforms at Drinka Rights.
It's a great cause.
www.drinka.com, or you can visit themelaninland.com to make that happen. But it's been a beautiful event.
I see.
You know, the reviews that I get, like it just makes me happy because when women could walk away and be like, I was so scared to come to this. I had a lot of anxiety, but
you do. I've been like that, girl. I've been like that because I'll be like, okay, what is this brunch about? Are we just getting cute, looking at got teeth outfits on, or are we gonna network and try to build a sisterhood, try to build relationships? That's what I be worried about. I haven't been to one yet. I've always wanted to do one, but mine is going to be about networking. You're gonna come up in there and you're gonna be trying to do, you're gonna try to build relationships with other women that's trying to, be entrepreneurs. So that's what I'll be worried about. I haven't been to one yet, so I'll go to one if I can see the, it's about some working.
That's so funny that you said that, because I just seen a post and then this man said, please release my black queens from the shackles of boss babe brunches, or aka women empowerment brunches, because some women have complained like, oh, people are just putting these on to get money from people. You go there and you don't get nothing out of it. See, and I, as an event organizer, I'm with the event organizer. If they send us to a women's empowerment brunch, you can't expect it to be no business coaching session. That's a different price. Just to be honest with folks, but in everything that I do, I want some people to walk away with like some connections or some connections. But when you are creating events and curating spaces for people, you literally have to be the one to think about, okay, I know this is my idea of how I want it to work. I want people to network. Okay, you want people to network, you just gonna tell them to network? Right. So it's something that I do. Like I come up with different games that require us to have to interact and engage with each other. We do icebreaker activities. And then my friend, she came up with something that I really loved, which is a networking bingo card. Yes. So everybody get a card and like you have to go around and talk. I need that. And that's what takes the awkwardness out of it too. It does. Because now you have a talking point. Yeah. But you got something to fall back on or following through with, something to build conversation. And that's especially good for women who are like socially awkward. Yeah. Because I'll just walk up to somebody like, ooh girl, I like your hair. And I'm the quiet one. But once you start talking to me, I'm like, baby, I'm just not that. And that's crazy because I am. But I'm just not. It's a lot of us like that. There's like kind of, quiet. But once somebody starts talking to them, they bring that spirit out of them and they just start flowing because we better talk about this. It's kind of hard to network when you don't know what that other person, how that other person is. Like, I do good with vibes. Like, if you give me a bad vibe, I'm like, man, I ain't gonna say nothing to her. You see if this other lady, over here that looks like she. And another thing too, I always encourage women to be open because, wow, something just came. Let me tell y'all. Tell me. Now, you know how when you get out of a toxic relationship, when you go into something different, it's easy to project what you went through onto other people. Yes. So I've learned that in situations where I knew I've experienced trauma in the past, like if I had a bad relationship with somebody, when I'm going into another relationship, I have to be mindful of like how I respond, because I got to ask myself, am I responding from a trauma space? Right. Or did what you really do really fit me? So when it comes to relationships with women, and I knew you were about to ask this question, you haven't even asked it, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. Let me see why is it so hard for women to have relationships with each other? Yeah. I think it's because they have messed up relationships with their mother. Yeah. And it all started with that bond that they have with their mom. It's got to stem from somewhere. So that distrust that you may have or feel for women, it goes back to that space. Yeah. Your previous experiences with bonding with women in your family. Yeah. Because I love my mama. We have a good relationship, so I feel like I connect easily with women. But what I didn't realize is that majority of women have broken relationships with my mama, and that blew my mind. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. But when I realized that, I'm like, oh, that makes sense why they say women don't get along with each other. They haven't even got along with their mama. So
right, so how they gonna get along with somebody else? Yeah, a stranger that they don't even know. So that makes sense. Because I was definitely about to ask you that, because there's so many situations where you see like, you know, like I used to be that type of person, like, oh, you know, I need some homegirls, or I need some, you know, women like kind of like me. You know, you gotta have a vibe like mine to be around me, because if you kind of off, or I feel like you just always mad, or you got an attitude all the time, or you trying to fight all the time, child, I ain't about all that.
No.
I'm not about. I mean, I will be, but I'm saying, I'm saying I'm a different type of woman. That's like that's childish stuff to me. Like, we on to better things. We trying to do women empowerment. We trying to network. We trying to build each other up, because there's so much the other stuff we go through than catting with each other. So I
agree. Like, you do have to find your tribe. That's why with the spaces that I create through my women's empowerment organization, Hey Sis, it's the sole purpose of bringing women together who are wanting the same thing. And what I realize is, yes, I'm super friendly. Everybody know I'm super friendly, super kind. But I may not be your cup of tea. Like, we may not connect, and I don't know negative way, but it might just be that I like poetry, you like horseback riding. That ain't we just don't connect. Like, we cool and we sociable, but I want you to be in a space where you can meet different women and find common interests that make y'all able to mesh well together and hang out. It's easy to have conversation because y'all have life interests. And that's cool. Like, finding someone that's I don't want to say on your level, but like who are where you are and who can challenge you too, because I'm really big on like relationships being mutually beneficial. You know, like, can I learn from you? Can I grow? Can you encourage me?
Can you learn from me?
My friend, the poet, like, that's my dog. When I have a vision or a thought, or when I start to question myself, like even with doing Melanin in May in Atlanta, I was like, I'm scared. And she's like, why? I ain't planned for this. I don't have the money to do it. And she's like, girl, that's not a reason not to do it. I'm like, huh? I'm like, okay. Right. But we made it work, and she encouraged me. She helped me out, and we were able to execute it. And that's what I want people to be able to find when it comes to spaces. And again, because I'm putting on these events, like, I make it clear what kind of women I want to attract in this space. So, you know, it's usually business women, entrepreneurs, creatives, who are on good vibes, you know, and they want to connect with other women.
Not I don't like how she look, I don't want to be around her. I don't like what she look, I don't like how she dressed, I don't want to be around her. I do not like them.
We do not like that.
Wait, I do not like that, because why? You ain't got no reason just talking about how this woman look. No, that's what I mean. It is crazy. It's just
it's sad, because man, having friends with other women are your friends. I think it's one of the most essential things in life. Like, I always
important too. It's important to me to have good friends around, good people. It's like my friends, I feel like, are my sisters. Like, you know, I have some younger sisters, and we don't see like eye to eye. And so when you have friends, that's like your next best thing. Like, that's my sister, you know, stuff like that. So that's how I think of my friends, and they are important. Like,
they are. They really are.
They very important,
because it's like this. I don't know. It's like a chosen connection. Like, we chose to be friends.
For a reason.
Like, it's just a different kind of energy. Like, I always wished, I was like, you know what, I wish I would spend more time cultivating relationships in college, because there's a lot of women that I loved, and I feel like if I would didn't have my nose up somebody else's ass, leaving school every weekend and not engaging with campus activities. I've not been following behind a man. And
it happens to the best of us.
I could have just did more, because that's the only thing I regret from college, is not making more friends, because I see women now who were friends in college, and they're still cool, and like, they're progressive women. You know, so I love it.
It's hard to find it. It is. It's hard to find those relationships. When I see people, they've been friends for 20 years, and it's like, dang, you know, how did you get there? But sometimes I feel like sometimes you just grow apart. From some certain relationships, certain friendships, you just grow apart. Like, you know, I had a best friend,
And I started to see, like, every time I would say something about, you know, acting, she'll be, you know, halfway supportive, or like, you know, halfway. You can tell when somebody halfway, or you can tell when somebody's supporting you 100, sharing your stuff, or, you know, commenting, because that's me. I share, you can ask anybody, I share anybody's stuff, I share everybody's stuff, especially, you know, when it got to do with us women doing stuff. I love that. And so, you know, you can start to see when somebody you close to not really, you know, vibing on that, you know, or not really calling you like, girl, I seen this and I'm so proud of you, and blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
So you start to kind of, you start to grow away from those people.
You really do. You
And it's sad.
Space.
Girl, you be having relationships with people for like 2-3 years, and it just be like, once you start elevating, I'm sorry, you elevate, and sometimes you do leave people behind. I used to didn't believe that. I used to be like, child, my friend's gonna be with me, you know, child.
To the end of time.
No, man.
Like,
sometimes it just don't work out that way. Sometimes they be, you know, on the ends of the, you know, other ends of life, and you progress and elevate and move forward, and you be like, dang. You know, you miss them. I'll be missing, you know, some of my friends that I thought that I was going to be, you know, able to cool with. I was going to take them with me, because that's the type of woman I am. I'll be like, I'm going to take my friends with me. Y'all ain't going to have to worry about no vacation. Y'all going to just pack your bags, let's go. That's how I think. You know, that's just how I think. But it's crazy how, you know, some of those long-term relationships don't last because you elevate. You supposed to be up there with each other. That's how I feel. But
and then some of us, we grow at different points too.
Yeah.
And we have to be graceful. I do believe in being graceful with one another too. But if I really believe in also trusting your body and your spirit. So if your spirit and your body done told you,
right,
hey, this person is not what you need in your space, then trust it. But again, you know, learning how to trust your intuition and being graceful enough with people to allow them to grow at their own pace, because I don't expect me and my friends to be at the same level, like, oh, we both up right now, we all feeling great at the same time. You're not going to always feel great at the same time, or low at the same time. Like, it's just going to be different, and that's okay.
Right now. That's so crazy.
And that's okay. It's just like how in relationships.
It is with, like, you in a relationship, it's just like, you know, you be wanting them to be, like, I'm engaged. You be wanting them to be like up there where you are, you know, you all happy, and your head's in the clouds, and you never know what somebody is going through personally. Sometimes they won't even tell you what they're going through personally. So, you know, I'm going to have to start thinking differently when it comes to that, because I want everybody to be happy when I'm happy. I'm like, girl, you can't, don't be coming over here with that. You need to be happy now, you know, especially like at little dinners and stuff like that. You be all excited. I feel some type of way because I'm across the table and I'm like, girl, look, I just did it. And she like, girl, that's good, congratulations. You know.
See, no, we need big energy around here.
I like big energy, especially when I hit a milestone. So
exactly. No, you definitely gotta be celebrating when you are. Like, I believe, you know, even if I'm not feeling the best too, I'm gonna make sure I celebrate my friend, my family, any celebration that you have, because vibes are infectious. Like, I'm not gonna bring my bad energy and pull your good energy. I don't think that's fair. Right. That's not fair at all.
I definitely agree. Well, we have come to an end of the show today. I'm so glad that we had you, child. We're going to be talking all day. We will be talking all day, but they were telling me to wrap it up. So I enjoyed every moment. I wish it could have been longer. Let them know where they can find you once again.
Okay, well, you can find me on all social media platforms at Drinka Writes, or check out my website, www.drinka.com.
And that was it, right here on the Ladies Lounge.
Thank you.
Please be